Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So friends, in this video we will have our discussion on a very important concept of the trigger point or indications of the time period which actually create the vibe and energy of marriage. So friends, like the way I highly appreciate, like my audience and my clients are very educated, they are very well informed when it comes down to how to assess their chart, how to assess the impact of planets in their lives. So lately what happened, there is a client, she booked her reading with me, and like the way when we are dealing and working with AI, we have to give it the right prompts. So in the consultation form, she specifically asked this thing, Nipun, I'm hopeful that this year like I can get married. Last year it did not happen because I was in the Rahu influence, in the Rahu time period, and now in this year just because Venus and Jupiter are promising it, so that means marriage can happen. So this only gave me this validation, friends, that just because I come from the lineage of the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, and in the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan it is being precisely taught that Rahu can also be a contributor for the marriage as well. Like there's a very colloquial word which is used for Rahu, that Rahu is Byahu. It means Rahu can give marriage. So in this video, friends, we will try to understand that in which capacity Rahu can create the combination of marriage, which all are the placements of the Rahu which can support that. And also friends, just because in this year 2026 we have just started the year, right? So which all zodiac sign could remain lucky, that just because of the Rahu's transit placement can actually create that yoga of marriage for them. Friends, never ever overlook this fact that Rahu is the chief indicator of the desire of the future karma, and marriage is one kind of commitment, one sort of relationship which create new karmas for you, open new doors of experiences for you. So how can you overlook the importance of Rahu for that? And again friends, just because whatever is happening right now around the world, if something is very valid, something is very authentic, you get to see the results of that. For example, the way AI has been progressing in the past couple of months. Like recently I was hearing about how this Anthropic Claude could be much better than the ChatGPT, and most of these revolutions are happening ever since Rahu has transited in the Aquarius sign. So that means astrology does not need a validation. Like I keep on giving reference from my personal life as well, right? Ever since Saturn has transited to my 12th house, the actual house of the sleep, it never has been an issue with me, at least 8 hours of sleep. But ever since Saturn has transited, my sleep is all screwed up. So I mean to say, there is a proper validation why which planets exert their influence. And just because if your objective, your intention is to get married, and you are only rooting for Venus, you are only rooting for Jupiter, and you are ignoring Rahu in your calculation, so I would say that you might be mistaken. So that is what we will try to understand and discuss in this video. Okay friends, now to start with, when we talk about the classical combination of marriage, whenever any astrologer look at the chart to see the timelines of the marriage, we generally give attention to the 7th house. This is the prime house of marriage. And as per the classic principles, like whether you talk about Brihad Parashar Hora Shastra, Fal Deepika or Jatak Parijat, it has all been mentioned over there that generally marriage happens in the time period of the 7th Lord's Dasha. The planet which is placed in the 7th house, its Dasha come, it can trigger marriage. Or if any planet which is conjunct with your 7th Lord, its time period comes, its Dasha comes, it can trigger marriage. And just because we only attach Jupiter and Venus with marriage, because see, Jupiter represents the dharma, Jupiter represents the ceremonies, and Venus is responsible for the attraction, Venus is responsible for the romance. Now if amidst all these calculations, if you will include the combination of the Rahu, so now comes the question that friends, in which capacity, like Rahu can be a contributor for the marriage. Like the way we say that people who are very much controlled by the planet Jupiter, in their case you will see that they will go by the prescribed norms in their family, they will get into the traditional marriage. In some of the charts, no matter how successful and outwardly these people are, they still go by the wish of their parents. Like it might come as a surprise to you, but even some of those like Indian families and like someone who is born in US, they are doing very good in their career, but when the right time of the marriage came, it's their parents who selected the match for them. So that's a typical Jupiter flavor. When we talk about Venus, definitely attraction, romance plays a very significant role. It has been generally seen that people who are strongly ruled and governed by Venus, they generally get married and get into the matrimonial obligations, duties, responsibilities much early in the life. Like in the first half of the life, they generally find a partner and get settled down over there. Now when we talk about Rahu, friends, now especially I'm talking about the time period. See, I was talking about it, and two birds are fighting down there. Couple problems. So this could be indication from the Oman's Shakun about the Rahu. So see, when we talk about the typical Rahu marriage, what could be the flavors of it? Like the way I mentioned, Jupiter is responsible for the writers, traditional marriage. Venus is responsible for the romance and attraction. So when we talk about the Rahu ruled and governed marriage, so friends, over there somehow suddenness tend to remain the telltale sign of that. Unconventionality tend to remain a telltale sign of that. There could be distance as well, like you might get attracted to or get married to someone who comes from a very far away foreign land. In certain cases, people who find their match while being on a travel. So that could be the typical flavors of the Rahu. So yes, beyond any doubt, whenever a planet gets active, if it is bound to give you marriage, if it is bound to give you a result, so it will make that event happen as per its own personality. So generally people who get married in the influence of the Rahu, in the time period of the Rahu, you will see that level of suddenness, unconventionality, distance, sudden attraction, or some sort of obsession as well, that I have to get married to this person only come what may, and things will happen very fast. These are the typical style and flavors via which Rahu delivered the result. Now comes the question that obviously it's not only the dasha of the Rahu. Rahu needs to have a say in the important attributes of your chart to trigger that. See, Rahu's dasha came, and in the Rahu dasha, it might have different portfolios as well, right? Like when we talk about any like ministry, even in the politics, right? You have to be in charge of that ministry to take important decision connected to that department. Same is the way. Let's say for example your Rahu Dasha came. Your Rahu is in any capacity placed in the first house or the seventh house. Like the Rahu Ketu axis is in the first house, seventh house, it can deliver result over there. Your Rahu is conjunct with your seventh lord. Rahu conjunct with seventh lord. Rahu conjunct with Venus and the Rahu Dasha come, it could be responsible for that. Let's say for example friends, Rahu's dispositor is well placed in the chart. Like you might have your Rahu placed in the 11th house, but the dispositor of the Rahu, the 11th lord, is placed in the 7th house. It could give you marriage. You always have to verify that through the Navamsa as well. Now let's say for example you have Vargottam Rahu. Like Rahu is placed in the same zodiac sign in the D9 chart as well. In the D9 chart, you have your Rahu being placed in the first house, in the 7th house. And friends, these all are the placement. These all are the style via which Rahu deliver the result. Now you also have to include the transit as well. Because if something is being promised in your life in the Dasha and same is getting valid in the transit as well, then this tend to remain a very, there is a very high possibility of the success of that event. So let's say for example your Rahu Dasha came, Rahu is having a say, a grip over the important decision maker aspect of your chart. Via its placement, via its dispositor, and at the same time Rahu is transiting over your first house, Rahu is transiting over your moon, Rahu is transiting over your Venus, Rahu is transiting over your 7th house, over your 7th lord. We all know this thing that Rahu right now is transiting in the Aquarius. Now let's say for example you are a Leo Lagna, Aquarius falls in the 7th house, or let's say for example you are a Aries Lagna, Rahu is transiting in your 11th house, and at the same time being a Aries Lagna, your 7th lord Venus is also there in the 11th house. So Rahu is not only transiting over the house of wish fulfillment, but it is also transiting over your 7th lord as well. So these are the typical cases. So again friends, all what I want to say is that when it comes down to astrology, don't restrict it to the traditional principles. Gone were those days where the parents only used to fix, schedule everything, and in some of the extreme cases, people used to see their spouse on the day of the marriage. You have to evolve with the changing times. In the modern day times, the speed, the lightning speed with which Rahu can give you result, no other planet can give. But yes, with Rahu, there is always an agenda which is attached over there. Rahu's placement also needs to be given attention, because if Rahu is not going to be placed well, you might be in a cloud, in a wheel, in an illusion, and once that illusion disappears, then you might regret. So, if Rahu is well placed in your chart, Rahu's dispositor is well placed in the chart, Jupiter is aspecting your 7th house, and you are of a marriageable age, Rahu Dasha came, this could be Mahadasha. I would say Mahadasha is a very long period of time. Antar Dasha of Rahu came, it can actually deliver you the result with a lightning speed. There is definitely going to be the suddenness, unconventionality in the delivery, which you will get in the form of extracting result from the Rahu. And now friends, concluding this discussion with which all zodiac sign 2026 is creating that yoga, because friends, right now what is happening, Rahu is transiting in its own zodiac sign, like many astrologers connect Aquarius with the Rahu. Rahu is transiting in its own nakshatra, like Sadbisha as well, and very soon when Jupiter will also be direct in the Gemini on March 10th, because Jupiter is also giving its aspect to this Rahu as well, right? So I'm sure for many zodiac signs, this will trigger this yoga of the marriage. Because friends, very soon, Venus right now is transiting in the Aquarius. Venus is also going to be getting exalted as well on March 2nd in the Pisces. And I yet have to make another video. My next upload is going to be on the exaltation of Venus only, because this exaltation is very important, because during this time, Venus will get conjunct with Saturn. I always say, whichever planet comes in the excess of Rahu and Ketu, fate, destiny plays a role. Whichever planet comes in the influence of the Saturn, you get the result for a very long period of time. And what do we expect in terms of relationship, commitment, starting a business, that it shall stay for long. So I mean to say, Venus getting exalted, being conjunct with Saturn, this could be a very good time for commitment as well, for getting married as well. I will make a separate video on that, friends. But now, if I were to say that which all zodiac sign right now can get benefited because of the strength and dignity of Rahu, especially in terms of the marriage, relationship. So I would say, friends, that my first pick is going to be of the Aries. So for the Aries, Rahu is right now transiting in your 11th house, and just because Rahu's placement, Jupiter's placement, 7th Lord's placement for the Aries, this could be a time. If Rahu is active in the Antardasha, this could actually trigger that. The second best favorite pick of mine is going to be of the Leo. But now friends, with Leo, it comes with a catch, because for the Leo, beyond any doubt, you have Rahu in the 7th house. First eligibility is getting fulfilled. Jupiter is transiting in your 11th house. Another eligibility is getting fulfilled. Jupiter is also giving its aspect to the 7th house. The slight concern is that the 7th Lord, Saturn, is transiting in the 8th house. So yes, joint resources, assets, secrecy needs to be given attention. So after Aries, Leo is my favorite second pick when it comes down to getting married this year. And last, friends, is going to be Aquarius, because for the Aquarians, Rahu is transiting right over there in your 1st house. Rahu Ketu axis is in the 1st house, 7th house. You are transforming. Your life is evolving. Many fated events are happening in your life where you do not have a say. You do not have a free will. It's like destiny and the fated events are taking a precedence right now. And marriage could be one such event when it comes down to that. So yes, friends, this was just a quick discussion on this topic. If you want me to make any further elaborative videos on the same topic, do write that, do share that in the comment section, because that's how we learn, that's how we grow, when we share knowledge, information with each other. So friends, for further more updates and notification on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Instagram account. Dhanyavad.